The next one is Mega Golisopod. As we are seeing, it has gained the Steel typing. Now, Golisopod has had some very serious weaknesses. One of those was the ability actively playing against it. Once you reach 50% of your HP, you basically are forced to switch out. This is something your opponent can use more than you. Absolutely, and it will. Meaning that if you need that turn Golisopod to attack necessarily, yeah, it won't happen. Plus, with the fact that it has very common weaknesses and a lot of neutral with the backwater typing, you can see that this ability is a problem. However, this Mega Evolution may change how this Pokemon plays completely. First of all, it may completely lose this very disadvantageous ability. This ability has proven to be more problematic for this Pokemon than anything else. And yes, it was made to combo well with the move First Impression. However, it's a funny gimmick, but it didn't play as they hoped to. It was more of a liability than an advantage. And yeah, some people did get some success with Golisopod, but overall kinda sucks because this Pokemon design is so cool. But yeah, didn't really have much to talk about. However, these things may change. Not only it may lose the ability in favor of a better ability that won't be a liability for itself and the player, but it has gained the Steel type. Now, Steel is one of the best type in the game, no bias, but it gains a very good resistance to Fairy, which is already amazing. Being a Steel type means you can threaten several threats such as a very powerful Xerneas or a very Trick Room dominant Indeedee. And the Bug typing grants you the ability to threaten other Psychic types such as the Indeedee that usually accompanies a Terrini, or probably the most important, and I feel like is where this Pokemon is actually going to shine, thanks to the speed stat we can see here, being at 40, so this Pokemon is very slow, this Pokemon can defeat Calyrex Ice. Okay, Mr. Calyrex Ice here, as you can see, has 50 base speed, and is a Psychic Ice Pokemon. Now, this means, first of all, we're starting to consolidate a trend about the fact that Game Freak has looked at the current meta and is using Mega Evolution. If it feels like they're using Mega Evolution as a way to balance and kinda scramble a bit the meta. They probably noticed that the current peak of power, which is the restricted format, is dominated by Pokemon with a certain speed stat. They made Pokemon faster than Calyrex and slower than Calyrex Ice. Okay, faster than Calido, slower than Cali Ice. And this is one of those. And I think it's a really good idea because, in my personal opinion, and I think Game Freak has understood this, Mega Evolution along with Terastallization are the best mechanics for competitive play. And they're kinda using Mega Evolution to kinda rebalance certain Pokemon and rebalance certain balances of the meta, like Cali Ice being that slow, Calido being that fast. They have this typing, they do that thing. Okay, they're trying to use Mega Evolution to give new life to Pokemon that didn't have a chance to shine. And they're using it to counterbalance certain Pokemon, because not only this Pokemon resists the ice typing, but also takes neutral from the ground type, which is usually Iron Power. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about the Calyrexes in this video, because I want to talk about the peak of power and comparing this new Pokemon to those. But of course, not all these Mega Evolutions will be good always. But talking about certain threats, especially the restricted threats, gives us a good way, at least in my opinion, to indicate whether a Pokemon is going to be good or bad. Of course, there's not just restricted Pokemon. Some Pokemon that are amazing without restricted may lose a bit when restricted are present. For example, we know that the Primals are coming back. The usually amazingly good Mega Tittar will fall off greatly. But when Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre are not going to be in the meta, Mega Tittar is going to be one of the best Pokemon. So yeah. Also, the biggest liability for this Pokemon is the 4x super effectiveness taken from fire types. The most common is going to be Incineroar, but there's also other threats such as Mega Charizard Y, Mega Heatran, and many more. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem because this Pokemon, being that it starts from a water type, it has access to one of the best, to some of the best water type moves such as Waterfall, Liquidation, and yeah, it's very powerful moves. Plus it has access to close combat, of course first impression, though if it loses the ability, which is almost a guarantee, you may not wanna use first impression as your bug type move. You may wanna use X-Scissor or Bug Bite or Leech Life even. Leech Life is actually a very good option for such a bulky Pokemon. You heal it back, even if you don't have a berry, you can heal it back with Leech Life. So yeah, it also has U-Turn as we saw, if you wanna reposition it. It should also have Surf Dance, there we go, so you can compensate for an Intimidate. You have Bulk Up, you have a lot of options for this Pokemon. You also learn Aqua Jet, again, starting from a water type is amazing news. Yeah, as an ability, I really don't know what ability we should give to this Pokemon. I hope it's something good, like either Tough Claws or Clear Body for the Steel typing, I don't know. So yeah, I am really hopeful for this Pokemon. This Pokemon had a couple of chances. Unfortunately, the one time it was actually close to a top, the player disconnected because of a structural problem on how we play tournaments in the dock. So it got a game loss and then lost the game 3, which is unfortunate. It was probably going to be the peak of Golisopod's career. It would have been nice for this Pokemon just to have something to its name, but it went so close. But I feel like with this new Mega Evolution, it's going to be actually very good. Next, Mega Evolution. We see Mega Magiarna. Mega Magiarna, just like Darkrai, is not going to be legal, most likely. So I'm not going to talk too much about this. So yeah, same thing for Mega Zeraora here. Mega Filing. Oh! Oh! Now we're talking about... this is one of my favorite Pokemon from Paldea. I think it's very funny that is just... two peppers. I really like this Pokemon. Unfortunately, it has a lot of potential, but doesn't always have a lot of usage. Okay? But I feel like it has potential. It has Chlorophyll as a base ability. There it is. It has pretty decent supporting moves. It can do some really nice damage. But it always came close, but not enough to greatness. And I'm very curious about this Mega Evolution. You can see here it has Spicy Extract to lower the opponent's defenses. This is how it was used. It was used with Koraidon in a Sun team to activate Chlorophyll, and then Koraidon, once the opponent has has gotten their defenses lowered, this Pokemon basically offered support. It had Leech Seed. It didn't have too bad of stats. Like it had the same attack and the same defenses. It had the decent speed for a chlorophyll user. So yeah, imagine this 75 being 150 base speed. You can hit focus session, you have a pretty good supporter. But with this Mega Evolution, we may see a change on how this Pokemon plays. It all depends on the stats. Well, never mind. Well, no, it's not never mind. It got a tiny bit of boost. It got 13 bot attacks and 20 in bot defenses. So yeah, 100 straight boost on offense and defense. Unfortunately, the speed remained the exact same, which makes me think this Pokemon may still have Chlorophyll as an ability. We still don't know the abilities, but any other ability will be a nerf for this Pokemon, because these offensive stats and defensive stats are decent for a Pokemon that is Fire and Grass, but are not good enough to justify using this Pokemon over other Pokemon unless it gets Chlorophyll again. If it gets Chlorophyll again, it may actually be a pretty decent option. Being Fire Grass, it means that you can eat a very big variety of Pokemon, and you also have pretty decent resistances. Like you take neutral from ground, you take less damage from Fairy, you take a lot of neutrals. If a rock type threatens you, can always eat it with a different stab, being the grass type. You can use it as a special attacker, because even if the special and physical stats are the same, you are not allowed with a Megastone to hold a Clear Amulet. So yeah, there it is. Nasty Plot, Heat Wave. If you are in a Sun team, you can use Solar Beam, or else you can use Giga Drain or Energy Ball for better base power. Depends on how you wanna play it, if you wanna play it bulkier or full out attacker. So yeah, this Pokemon has always had potential and was a pretty decent Focus Sash Chlorophyll supporter. We will have to wait and see if this Mega Evolution will kinda change the role of this Pokemon, or if it will crush it, like if it is a wasted Mega Evolution, just like, I don't know, Mega Garchomp was before Mega Garchomp Z. So yeah, we shall wait and see. The next up is Mega Glimmora. Apparently, this Pokemon got a Mega Evolution. Gita could have used this one when she was the final. Well, she wasn't the final boss, it's a lie. But would have been a bit cooler though. Then you would have to give a Mega Evolution to Nemona, which she could have. She has Mega Dragonite, so yeah. Mega Glimmora is actually pretty interesting. Glimmora is not a bad Pokemon, it's actually a very good Pokemon. It's a very annoying Pokemon because if you eat it, it will set toxic spikes. Now, entry hazards are usually not used in VGC. It's not worth to use a slot on one of your Pokemon or a Pokemon entirely to set up this set of entry hazards. However, setting them passively, and then you start poisoning, chipping away your opponent's Pokemon, is actually decently good. And the fact that this Pokemon has Meteor Beam means that you can set it up as well. However, Meteor Beam is strong only when you can use the Power Herb. With a Mega Stone, you cannot use the Power Herb. Meaning this Pokemon cannot use Meteor Beam anymore unless you invest into a supporting cast properly adapted to the situation. But it's never going to come up. Now, we can check the typing. Yes, it's still Rock and Poison. Rock and Poison basically guarantees this Pokemon explodes from the first guy that uses Earthquake. And there's going to be a lot. Mega Excadrill, Mega Salamence. A lot of Pokemon will use Earthquake. This Pokemon is going to implode at the single touch of a ground type move. Okay? Meaning that you won't have the time to set up properly a Meteor Beam. So we gotta take Meteor Beam out of the question for this Pokemon while talking about it. We can talk about the stats though. 150 special attack is very good. So as you can see, they kinda balanced the fact that it cannot use Meteor Beam to set up and give it a even better special attack stat. You are probably not going to miss Meteor Beam on this Pokemon. Unlike you are going to miss all of the said Meteor Beam. I swear that move never hits when it needs to hit. However, 105 defense. Very good. 96 special defense. Very good. This Pokemon is decently bulky, and it's also decently fast. 101 speed is very good. It's 1 point above 100 points, meaning it can outspeed some key threats such as Mega Kangaskhan. Like, let's pick up Kangaskhan. There we go. Mega Kangaskhan. No, Mega Kangaskhan. There we go. Mega Kangaskhan, 100 speed. Let me show you better. There it is. Mega Kangaskhan. So yeah, that's already a very important part. The weaknesses and the resistances are actually very good. Like you resist Fairy, you resist a lot Poison, you resist Fire, you resist Normal, you resist well, not resist, but take neutral from fighting. The only serious weakness you gotta watch out from is going to be Ground, which, as I said, is going to be decently common as an offensive type, as it often is, but is nothing you cannot fix with proper team building. Glimmora had success up until now, especially because people managed to team build with the idea of covering Glimmora of this 4-time weakness. So, this Pokemon, I have high hopes for this. I don't think it can set up at least its special attack. Yeah, no, I don't see moves that allow this Pokemon to set up the special attack outside of a Meteor Beam that you cannot use. So yeah, you're probably not going to need to set up anymore with how high the special attack now is. But yeah, you wanna run it Power Gem. Where is Power Gem? Power Gem. There it is. I thought for a second they removed the Power Gem from this Pokemon. It would have been hysterical. Energy Ball to have a bit of self-coverage against ground types. Then you have Sludge Bomb, of course. This Pokemon is going to be very good. I can already tell, even in certain metas, it basically has the same typing as Nihilego, with being, I don't remember if it's faster or slower than Nihilego. It's still slower than Nihilego, it's slightly less bulky, but I don't see Ultra Beasts coming back too soon, so you may use Glimmora to properly counter Xerneas as a poison type, though you may need to watch out a lot from Groudon, perhaps in a Kyogre team. But even outside restricted metas, this Pokemon is going to be very good. Again, if you watch out from ground type moves.